Well, hello everybody, this is DearMamaSal on a very pretty looking Thursday. Yay! It's Thursday morning. And for those who want to know why such a funny thing about Thursday, I don't work on Fridays, so Thursday is my Friday. Which always makes life very exciting. Alright, it's 9 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which is darn sight warmer than it's going to be tomorrow, they tell me. Tomorrow they reckon at this time it'll be about 4 degrees. Yeah, right, don't let's worry about that. Anyway, 9 degrees, which would make it about 49 in American. And so you can tell that we're heading closer to spring. Now, just out of a matter of interest, I did do the calculation yesterday, so I could see how many days we have to go until it's spring again, and it's 150. Well, it'll be 149 today. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep track of how many days it is until spring. And that will keep me going through the winter, because you know I'm not a winter person. I wanted to let you know I again did over 7,000 steps yesterday. Yay, Sal. Now, for those of you who don't know this, I started off when I first got my I'm a slobwatch, as I call it. The reason I called it that was because I found out I did around about 3,000 steps a day. And so I'm now up to over 7,000 steps a day, July, August and September, in about one season. Let's put it that way. And that is without doing anything major. I am trying to do this without going out for huge walks or getting on my total gym for half an hour a day or doing anything. All I'm trying to do, because I wanted to know is it possible, is just get a little bit more active each day. Now, the trick, as some of you have heard, for me was to actually split my day up and almost each hour up, to work out, okay, I need to do this many steps by lunchtime. And if I can do this many steps by lunchtime, the chances are I will do roughly this many steps by 3 o'clock. Yesterday, I nearly hit my total goal for the day by the time I left work, which was awesome. So it is not that I've been out hiking the woodlands or doing anything like that. I've just become more active in my everyday. And I really do find reasons to get up and go and deliver something to somebody at work, or whereas normally I would sit there for an hour or so, you know, and think what was most productive. I don't do it that way anymore. I know that to quickly get up and go and deliver something is better for my body than to sit there for another half hour. And I definitely have to say that I can feel the difference in my butt and my legs. Now, I can still grab hold of the rolls of fat in my stomach. So, you know, we've got a long way to go here, people. But we're working on it. Very important. I thought I'd give you some practical ideas of my multitasking. Because as you know, I've decided this winter that instead of going out into the freezing cold, I'm going to move more by tidying up my life, particularly my house. And to give you some idea, yesterday, what I did was when the big part of the upload was happening on YouTube, because you understand that's what I've now got it all linked to. If this is happening on YouTube, then I can go and do something. So the first part of the process, I will go and quickly cook something to eat. And then the longer part of the process, which is normally later at night, I go and do something else. Instead of just lying there and watching television, I actually get up and go and do something. Now, to give you some sort of idea of where I found some real achievement yesterday, was I got up and I decided I would take the boxes that I emptied over the weekend. You remember I had emptied out my closet, and in doing that I had empty boxes. So I went downstairs into the garage and put those away. And then a light bulb went on. And I went, what if every time I come into the garage to put something in, I take something out? That was my aha moment this week. Now, a couple of days ago, I put something into the garage and I pulled out a box of shoes. A box of shoes that used to fit me when I was 40 pounds lighter. So you understand, if I tried to put them on now, the rolls of fat on my feet would just hang over the top. Wouldn't be very elegant at all. So I pulled out a box of shoes, and they're good shoes. Yesterday, when I went down to the garage, I went looking for something I could take out. That was the interesting part. I actually started to look around and said, okay, what is ready to leave here? And I took out a big box that I've got a foam mattress on my bed, and it came in a big box on wheels. Now, there's part of me that wanted to hold on to that big box on wheels because it would be very useful to fill up with things if ever you moved. Really, the way that my mind thinks is amazing. And I went, yes, that would be very useful to throw things into, but you're not going to do that. You're going to throw it outside. So I took the big box out, and then a little bit later I had reason to go downstairs, again exercise, and then come back upstairs, again exercise. I had reason to go downstairs and take some other boxes down, which happened to be ready to go. And the second trip I took out, I took a second bag of clothes that were upstairs ready to go downstairs to the lobby, that was right. And then, seeing as I was that close to the garage, I carried on to the garage, and I can't remember what I took out the second time. But let me tell you what I'm noticing already, is that I'm not just going down there and taking out something. Because I'm looking for something to throw away, I'm moving and tidying up the garage as I go. Now, it's still a nightmare down there, but I'm on a mission that over the course of this winter, I'm going to clean up my garage. This is not about I have to spend 8 hours a day down there every weekend or anything stupid like that. It's just, what if I go down every time that I put something into the garage, my rule is I have to take something out. And what if each time I go down there, if I can't easily see something to take out, that I start tidying it up. Just tidy a couple of things up to make it make more sense. I don't know whether it was just pure luck or whatever, or I was in Disneyland mode, I don't know. But I have to tell you, when I turned around and looked back at my garage as I left the second time, I could see a marked difference in my garage. And that made me smile and feel good. Now, I'd love to tell you that I've had a perfect week of eating the right foods, which would not be true. I had a particularly bad time of it on Tuesday, which was the night that I went out and about. And the reason I had a particularly bad night of it was I had a double poutine night. Now, for those of you who don't know what poutine is, it's a Canadian thing, which is basically fries with gravy and cheese curds, and it sounds disgusting, looks just as bad, but tastes very yummy if you happen to like bad food. And I say bad food because, you know, it doesn't hit the good food, healthy food groups at all. Potatoes are a vegetable. I keep thinking about that. And cheese is dairy, and you're meant to actually have cheese. Yep, it's good for the bones. So actually 2 out of 3 food groups. The gravy, not so much. So that was, I was really aware of that. But I learned a trick, and that was, I take lunch every day to work. I take a snack, lunch, and then I take fruit. Now, the first trick that I found was when I get up in the morning, I have a cup of coffee to wake up, and I have a cup of coffee that I take to work with me. Actually, I have a cup of coffee that I drink while I'm putting my makeup on, and then I have a cup of coffee that I take to work with me, a mug. Now, for the longest time, I have treated myself, ever since I found out about the macchiato type coffee, I have treated myself to latte with a couple of circles of caramel sauce on top, which I have to tell you is my definition of close to heaven. And I decided to do a little experiment this week and spend a couple of minutes on Google to find out the value of different things in that realm of sweetness. So I looked at how sweet was caramel sauce, how sweet was, what if I had honey instead of caramel sauce? I tried that and it's not bad actually. And then what if I just had a teaspoon of sugar, and what if I had sweetener, and so forth. And I looked at all of those, and brown sugar as opposed to white, and I sort of really was quite amazed. The most inappropriate of all of those in terms of their caloric value was the caramel sauce, the one I like so much. And I can't remember exactly, and who really cares? Well, if you do, you know, look it up for yourself. But, you know, I think it was around about 33 calories. And you understand I have two. One that I drink putting on my makeup, and the other one that I take to work. So there's 60 calories in my day right there. And then I think sugar ended up about a third of that, which really surprised me. Now, I'm not quite sure why the difference there. A teaspoon of sugar. And then the sweetener that I have, which is stevia, which I was led to believe was one of the better ones, that was about 3 calories. So I'm rethinking the way I drink my coffee in the morning. Now, the way that I do it, actually, and I know this is really sounds weird, but because I make foam, I like a latte, because I make foam every morning, I just sprinkle some sweetness over the foam. Then every sip that I take, there is some sweetness in it. I wonder if you can imagine that. Rather than actually stir it into my coffee. Now, when I have the caramel sauce, I just do, nice round of caramel sauce. And same thing, as you sip it, you're sipping in some of that sweetness. So this morning what I decided was, okay, fine, I'm going to do one caramel sauce and the other one will be sweetener. Because obviously, if I want to lose 100 calories a day, I can do it just by changing the way I have my coffee. 100 calories a day is quite a few a month, isn't it? So, little shift there. Now, the other trick that I learned this week was I could take very healthy food for lunch, and I do sometimes. This week I'm using up buns that I have in the fridge. So rather than waste the buns, I am taking them to work. I'm making cheese and cucumber buns to take to work. But what I read was if you're taking in that sort of carbohydrate, then try to only eat half of it. And I thought, what? I'm hungry at lunchtime. And it said, try just eating half of it and then put the rest away. And if you get really hungry later, you can have another. Well, what I've done is cut it into quarters. And so round about lunchtime, I'll take a quarter. Or if I'm really hungry, I'll take a half. And then I'll put the rest away. But if I get a hunger pang again, I've now doubled up on the amount of apples I take with me. I used to take 1 apple for the afternoon. I now take 2. So if I get a hunger pang, instead of going for the rest of the bun, I am going for an apple. And then I still have another apple in as a backup. And if I'm really, really hungry, I do have the rest of the bun. So now the bun lasts me for 2 days instead of 1. So I thought that was quite clever, and it works actually. I was quite surprised that I had that much to eat normally, and this time I'm just taking half that and just putting it away. And quite honestly, I got diverted by work and everything else, and I didn't notice that I was hungry for quite a while. Then the other thing I'm doing is I'm drinking water with lemon and ginger. Great combination. And because ginger is an absolute pain to peel, well, it's not if you use a spoon, but it's just hard work. I actually got dehydrated ginger in a bottle, and I just pour some out and throw it in a container with a slice of lemon. And then after I've finished my coffee in the morning, I change to a different mug, and that's my water mug. It's also a thermos type mug, and I put nice cold water in there, or hot water sometimes. With lemon and ginger to help the digestion and the metabolism. And I quite honestly think it's making a difference. I definitely seem to have more energy this week, and I don't quite know why. Was it because I cleaned out my closet? I have no idea why, but I do. I'm sleeping better. So, weird. Who knows? So I'd have to say the word for today for me is progress. And I would ask you to look at your progress. I know a lot of you have been following along on this journey and doing your version of it, however small. Doesn't matter. As we said, this is all about baby steps. I am trying to find a way to change the way I live my life and not to do anything dramatic. Because if I do something dramatic, it won't last. I am trying to do small steps that will help change my life. I seriously believe if I keep on this pattern, I could seriously change my look and my life by spring, which will be 149 days from now. And can you imagine the joy I'm going to get from achievement? I'm just looking at, there's some really dark clouds around. I don't know if you can actually see them, but the sun also was out for a split second, and it was hitting on the leaves that are left, the most beautiful colored leaves. I don't know if you can see out of that window, but there's some beautiful colors on that side at the moment. And it was just a bit like the picture I took last night, which was the dark, dark sky and the oranges of the leaves that make you glad to live in this part of the world. There's no doubt about it. It's a very pretty part of the world in the autumn. Not quite as pretty as it might be in Maine or New Hampshire or whatever, but it's still pretty darn pretty. All right, everybody, so check your progress. What have you done to help yourself today? And if you've done nothing, that's okay. But just smile and go, okay, let me do one little thing, just so that I can say I did something. You see, that's how I look at it. Let me do one thing to help myself. Something small. Go up and down the stairs one more time. And to make it worthwhile, take something down or bring something up while you're doing it, which is, as you know, what my trick is all about. Have a super, super day. I intend to. Look after one another, but as usual, most of all, for a change, look after yourself. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye-bye for now.